Chapter 51. Are you crazy? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Seeing this scene, many conscientious guests expressed sympathy and were very disgusted with Xuetiani's shameless behavior, but due to the power of the Xue family, they all chose to ignore it. Hongqianye's face was cold, and murderous intent surged within her. He has no friendship with Li Wujie, and he has no feelings about his sister's death, because the world of cultivation is inherently cruel, the weak can be trampled on, and there is no so-called human rights at all. What's more, he had seen countless dark and subversive things in the Central Realm, and he had long been accustomed to this kind of thing. Hongqianye started the killing because she was unhappy with people like Xuetiani. Looking at the ancestor of the Xue family, Hongqianye frowned slightly, suppressing the murderous intention within him. After all, there is a fundamental gap between that virtual immortal level powerhouse and the Mahayana realm, not to mention that he is currently half a step into Mahayana. Humph, sword demon Li Wujie, you are a demonic monk. Why are you barking at my Xue family? The head of the Xue family stood up to defend his son and said righteously, let me tell you, you are a demonic monk, and your sister is used as a furnace by my family's Tiana. This life can be regarded as atonement. Furthermore, your sister has a despicable life. How could you try to kill my Qiliner of the Xue family for her? Just for this, you Li Wujie deserve to die. That as soon as these words came out, Li Wujie lost control of his emotions and shouted, go away. Compare my sister to this beast. You are not worthy. You are also an old beast. You are a son of a bitch. Xuetiani was filled with righteous indignation and said, stop. You dare to insult my father. Your sister died in my hands, so it was her honor. As for you, a demon monk who everyone calls for beating, are you worthy of speaking nonsense like this? As he spoke, he winked. The men around him understood and shouted. Li Wujie, if your sister can be favored by Lord, it will be worth it even if dies. Why don't you get an advantage and act like a good girl? Support Lord. Lord has such a noble status, how can a dirty demonic monk like you slander him? You lost your sister, but my master lost a hand. Shouts came and went. In the crowd, even some guests who wanted to please the Xue family stood on Xuetiani's side and criticized Li Wujie's barbaric behavior. See, it's clear who is right and who is wrong. The Xue family father and son sneered. As for the ancestor of the Xue family, his face was expressionless and there was not the slightest emotion inside him. You guys. Li Wujie's eyes were splitting, and he struggled to stand up, but fell down weakly. He was so angry that he spit out a large mouthful of blood, mixed with the broken internal organs. He hates it. I hate myself for being too weak. In the void, Junlin stood with his hands behind his hands and sneered. A person who wants to avenge his sister and acts without any rules is labeled as a demon monk, while a master with a prominent family background is doing dirty things behind his back. It's so ridiculous that you can do dirty things and still have the aura of a righteous monk. Ding, congratulations on triggering the optional mission. Option 1, the host comes forward to protect Li Wujie and accept him as his disciple, and makes the ancestor of the Xue family willing to personally get rid of Xuetiani. After the event is completed, the ancestor of the Xue family will be grateful to the host and reward him with a supreme boxing technique, Fighting Holy Fist. Option, the host chooses to remain silent in the face of injustice, and will be rewarded with 10 low-grade spiritual crystals. You hear a system beep. Junlin was stunned. What? That he was surprised not only by the triggering of the optional mission, but by the content of the optional mission. 10 low-grade spiritual crystals for keeping silent. Damn, that's a huge sum of money. You can't spend it all, you can't spend it all. Tongzi, I'm going to fuck your whole family, and you're just sending the beggars away. Junlin would definitely look down on this little money, so now he can choose the first option. Asking him to come forward to protect Li Wujie and accept him as his disciple is actually quite normal from the front, but later on, it gradually became outrageous. The ancestor of the Xue family was willing to kill Xuetiani, and then he was grateful to him. What kind of cool operation was this? At this time, Xuetian saw at a glance that the heat was coming, and showed a cruel smile. Li Wujie, everything is over, please have a better memory in the next life. He grabbed the long sword from the guard's hand and walked towards Li Wujie step by step, with a murderous look on his face. He wanted to cut off this man's limbs and chop him into meat paste as a warning to others. Why? Many guests present shook their heads and sighed, there is no way, after all, my arms can't twist my thighs. Li Wujie said with a sad smile on his face, sister, brother is useless, I will go down to accompany you right now. Just when Xue Tianyi, with a ferocious expression on his face, swung his sword down, suddenly a figure in black robe appeared in front of him. He raised his hand and flicked his fingers, and a powerful force exploded, clang. The blade cracked and broke. Xue Tianyi staggered back a few steps and said with a look of astonishment on his face, what do you mean? Everyone reacted and were stunned. The one who took action was Junlin. What's going on? The guy from Xiantian's sect actually showed up. Do you want to protect the sword demon Li Wujie? He is a demonic monk. Is this the point? The point is that this is the Xue family's territory. Isn't this a slap in the Xue family's face? An uproar suddenly broke out in the crowd. The head of the Xue family looked ugly and said, Master Yi, what do you mean? Why do you want to prevent my Tian'er from executing this demon cultivator? Yi Junlin flicked his fingers and said calmly, on a whim, I decided to accept this man as my apprentice. If you touch him, you are touching me. Hear the words, the entire Xue family mansion exploded. Countless people couldn't believe it and almost suspected that they heard it wrong. Is this guy crazy? How dare you say such a thing? Senior, you. Looking at the figure blocking his back, Li Wujie's face was full of shock. As a monk from the eastern region, Li Wujie has certainly heard of Yi Junlin's deeds and also knows about this legendary figure who has been in the limelight recently, but what I didn't expect was that this guy actually dared to risk the disapproval of the world to accept him as his disciple. The ancestor of the Xue family turned gloomy. He had never seen such a crazy descendant dare to act so arrogantly under the eyes of a virtual immortal like him. Yi Junlin, you have to think clearly about the consequences. If you leave here now, I can pretend that nothing happened, that the ancestor of the Xue family's tone was full of warning, and he exuded a terrifying aura, and the whole sky seemed to be trembling. The monks in Zhou dynasty were trembling with fear and turned pale with fear. Not everyone can bear the anger of a virtual immortal. Senior, please leave quickly. I have accepted your kindness. If you want good luck in the next life, I will repay you like a cow. Li Wujie said anxiously. At this time, Hong Qianye was also frightened by this sudden scene, and her delicate and flawless face showed surprise. What is this guy doing? Does he think he is invincible? All the monks in the world want to betray him. This is a virtual immortal who has transcended the tribulation realm. In Hong Qianye's eyes, if risks his life to stand up for him because he sympathizes with a stranger, this behavior is simply stupid. Yi Junlin thought of something and looked at Hong Qianye playfully. Hong, why are you still standing there stupidly? Why don't you stand with master and protect your new junior brother, that I am your ancestor? What part of your horse is wrong? If you want to die, don't take this seat. Hong Qianye was unwilling to do anything, but due to Yi Junlin's power, she finally had to go quietly. Well, children can be taught. Yi Junlin nodded with satisfaction. Hong Qianye's mouth twitched, and she was so angry that she wanted to kill someone. Humph. You master and disciples, do you really think that my Xue family is easy to bully? The ancestor of the Xue family stared at the cold light, and his roar was like rolling thunder, echoing continuously in the sky thousands of miles away. All the creatures on the floating island were trembling with fear. The anger of Xuxian is like the power of heaven. Boom! Hong Qianye felt the pressure like a mountain on her body, and the mana in her body almost stopped flowing. She gritted her teeth and said, damn it, this is such a gap. Shu won't drink anymore. Shu won't drink anymore. Bai Zai was frightened out of her dazed state and woke up immediately. At this time, she waved her childish hands and yelled with a frightened face, facing the virtual immortal level oppression. Yi Junlin not only did not feel afraid, but was very excited inside, secretly looking forward to. That's right, that's it, attack me quickly. Whether you can complete the mission is another matter, but upgrading is definitely a sure win. Sudden, the sky turned dark, and another majestic aura rumbled in. Its powerful power eclipsed the mountains and rivers, and forcefully suppressed the ancestor of the Xue family. Hu! The ancestor of the Xue family said in horror as cold sweat broke out on his forehead. The person who came turned out to be a virtual immortal, but his aura was even stronger than him. Where is Yi Junlin? The majestic voice was cold and emotionless, coming from the sky. Who's barking? Yi Junlin raised his eyebrows, he felt strong hostility. Window, _tabula equals window, _tabula dot push, mode, thumbs, feed, 01, container, tabula, below, article, thumbnail, 300x250, placement, below article thumbnail, 300x250, target _type, mix. Chapter 52, The Giant Young Immortal is Coming. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Aha! A powerful figure appeared in the sky, emitting a vast and blazing light, just like the golden sun shining on all living beings, with a sense of sacredness and inviolability. In an instant, the monks from all over the eastern region showed shock on their faces, and a feeling of surrender emerged in their hearts. This is much more powerful than the ancestor of the Xue family. May I ask who this fellow Taoist is? The ancestor of the Xue family's eyes were full of fear, and the taste in his mouth was hard to explain. Since he was so good at breaking through the virtual immortals easily, he wanted to dominate this banquet and enjoyed the worship of monks from all over the world. However, a more powerful person suddenly appeared and stole all his limelight. The most uncomfortable thing is that the opponent's cultivation level is similar to his own, and he is also in the early stage of the new promotion, but the difference in momentum between the two makes him feel more like a fake and shoddy product. In the sky, the golden sun is getting closer and closer, as if it is the second sun in the world, emitting countless rays of light, making many island residents dry up and open their eyes. Senior, quickly collect your magical powers. Begging for mercy sounded one after another. Everyone felt it was so dazzling that even their souls were about to be burned. This kind of light seems to contain some kind of disturbing substance, and is specifically targeted at cultivators in the field. Damn! Who is showing off? Yi Junlin took out the special sunglasses and put them on himself, and then he could barely see clearly the figure shrouded in the sun. It was a middle-aged man wearing a golden robe, with thick golden hair in dense braids, hanging down his chest and behind, and his whole body was filled with a deep and measurable aura of destruction. I come from the Yuhua sect, and my Taoist name is Zhu Yang. The magnificent and majestic voice echoed in the sky, as if it was the voice of the gods above the 9 heavens. As soon as these words came out, many people's expressions changed drastically. I know, he is known as the most powerful lord of the Yuhua sect, and it is said that he is also the holy son of the Yuhua sect, the master. Master Zhu Yang. Now I have to call him Zhu Yang Shuxian. Now that he has come to the door, it can be seen that he wants to take action himself. Yi Junlin may be in danger. That the ancestor of the Xue family suddenly realized it and sneered secretly. Yi Junlin of the Xiantian sect is really digging his own grave. It seems that there is no need for him to take action personally. He will be responsible for this today. This is fine. The responsibility will be all over the Yuaman, and the Xue family can be completely wiped out. Thoughts are turning. Looking at the radiant golden figure, the ancestor of the Xue family tried to build a relationship, and said with a smile on his face, "Congratulations to fellow Taoist for breaking through the tribulation, and being in the realm of virtual immortals like me. I am here this time to see Yi Junlin. I heard that he is also here to attend your Xue family's banquet." Zhu Yang Shuxian said coldly, not taking the ancestor of the Xue family seriously at all. From his point of view, even though they are both virtual immortals, the difference in strength is huge, and the ancestor of the Xue family is just a third-rate thing. Yes, this person is also present. Fellow Taoist, just deal with private matters. Seeing this, the ancestor of the Xue family laughed a few times. He felt very happy inside, but he could only endure it, because he can feel it. Zhu Yang Shuxian is very strong. The guests looked at each other in shock, knowing that someone had leaked the news. Yi Junlin looked indifferent. He was wearing big sunglasses, pointed directly at the golden figure in the sky, raised his middle finger, and said arrogantly, "That's all, young master, what are you doing?" Hear the words, the guests looked horrified and looked at Yi Junlin with crazy eyes. With a crash, the crowd, which was originally a dense crowd, instantly dispersed like frightened birds and beasts, far away from Yi Junlin as if they were avoiding the plague. Even Li Wujie, who was lying on the ground, felt numb and wanted to crawl further away. He has been crazy enough since he debuted, but compared to this one, he really pales in comparison. It's over. Hong Qianye muttered in a daze, the ancestor of the Shui family has not yet been solved, and now there is another one who is stronger than him. Will it be difficult for him to die now? Boom! A destructive beam of light penetrated the vast sky. Zhu Yang Xuxian's face was full of anger, his golden hair was flying messily, and his eyes were as bright as the scorching sun, making it difficult to look directly at him. Yi! Jun! Lin! Angry shouts resounded from all directions, and the entire floating island group shook violently. Many men, women, and children had eardrums stinging, blood slowly flowing out, and their faces rolling on the ground in pain. Faced with the terrifying momentum, Yi Junlin picked his ears and shouted impatiently, "What do you call your dog? What do you call your dog? Bastard, you will die if you show up." Jiang Xuxian fell into a state of rage, raised his hand to condense a golden ball of light, and then decisively shot it out. Aha! The golden ball of light expanded rapidly in the air, emitting a blazing and dazzling light. There were countless runes intertwined throughout the body, and it fell towards Yi Junlin's position like the sun. The turbulence is like a wave of pressure, covering 100 miles in radius. Okay. The golden ball of light in front of him quickly enlarged, and Hong Qianye felt chills all over his body. He wanted to retreat, but found it difficult to break free, as if the surrounding space was blocked. This is the power of Xuxian. Fellow Taoist, you. The ancestor of the Shui family twitched his mouth while watching a play. If this golden ball of light fell, would the Shui family's mansion still be there? But in the current situation, we can only let the other party kill people to vent their anger. Boom! The huge golden ball of light above his head approached quickly, and Yi Junlin suddenly felt the blood in his body burning. Ding, the host is attacked by an enemy in the early stage of the tribulation realm. The passive effect of being stronger when facing a strong enemy is triggered, and the cultivation of the middle stage of the tribulation realm is obtained. As the system prompt sounded, an extremely powerful cultivation energy erupted like a mountain, and Yi Junlin's whole person changed dramatically. His skin was as shiny as white jade, and he looked extremely noble. His eyes were filled with brilliant divine light, as if they contained the stars of the universe. That long silver-white hair, each strand of hair was crystal clear, like a gorgeous galaxy hanging upside down. At this time, the black-robed young man exuded a heavenly and ethereal temperament. You are also a virtual immortal." Sensing this terrifying aura, Hong Qianye's head buzzed and he said in disbelief, "A trifle." Yi Junlin sneered, raised his hand, and flicked his finger lightly. Boom! An invisible terrifying force burst out instantly, flicking the huge golden light ball out like a glass ball. What? Jiang Virtual Immortal's eyes bulged and he lost his voice. Boom boom. The golden light ball exploded in the air, and the hot and bright light ball submerged him, and the terrifying energy airflow raged. Seeing this scene, everyone stood there like clay sculptures, their mouths opened wide, and their expressions were full of incredible. Chapter 53, Let's see whose is harder. You are listening at novelfull.audio. What? The cultivation level of the tribulation stage. The ancestor of the Shui family was stunned, and his heart was shaking wildly. This person is silent, but his cultivation level is actually higher than him. Shui's father felt as if he had fallen into an ice cellar, his face turned pale with fright, and he said in a trembling voice, "Void immortal? How can he be a virtual immortal?" Especially Shui Tianyi's mentality collapsed. The reason why he feels that his status is nobler than that of Yi Junlin is because of the Shui family ancestor who is a virtual immortal behind him. Unexpectedly, he is a virtual immortal. The guests were stunned and their cognition was greatly impacted. Damn it! Yi Junlin is not actually a venerable person, but a profound virtual immortal. No wonder he was so crazy just now. It turns out he is confident. He's fooling everyone. If there wasn't this banquet today, how long would he have to hide it? If you ask me, Yuhua sect is definitely the worst victim, that the monks from all over the eastern region were shocked by Yi Junlin's true cultivation level, and at the same time expressed their condolences to the Zhou Yangshu immortal who came to visit him, aha. The light group was instantly annihilated, and a golden figure stood in the void. Zhou Yangshu's golden hair was dancing wildly, his eyes were fixed on Yi Junlin, and his facial muscles were twitching crazily. Is this treating him like a monkey? He was obviously already at the level of transcending tribulation, but he still pretended to be a Mahayana monk and deceived the entire Ascension sect. Zhou Yangshu, who had broken through the tribulation in the front line, after hearing about the recent blows suffered by the sect, wanted to take advantage of this Shui family banquet to get rid of this serious problem with thunderous means. After all, for a dignified immortal, didn't he just defeat the venerable by hand? Whoever imagined it would backfire, and his real cultivation level was higher than his. How careless. The Zhou Yangshu got angrier and angrier as he thought about it, angrily scolded, shameless person. You have the cultivation level of Shushin and you still cover it up, you have completely disgraced us monks. It's unfair. I just broke through. I was really in the Mahayana realm before, I swear to God. Yi Junlin said with sincerity and vows. It's full of nonsense. Do you think I am a 3-year-old child? Zhou Yangshu was so angry that he almost vomited blood. He had never heard such a clumsy lie. Hey, forget it if you don't believe me. Yi Junlin shrugged and said helplessly, everyone's mouths twitched, feeling ashamed at the silver-haired young man's thick skin. Roar, at this time, Zhou Yangshu let out a long roar, releasing countless rays of light all over his body, and then accumulated strength to make a menacing golden palm print, which contained terrifying energy fluctuations, aha. A golden palm print about 3 feet wide appeared in the sky, with countless golden runes intertwined throughout its body. There is also a supergiant ball of light suspended in the palm of the hand. The vast heat flow is overwhelming and makes people's mouth go dry. As a result, Yi Junlin folded his arms and stood motionless in the face of the offensive, with a playful smile on his lips. Die. Zhou Yangshu saw that he was so supportive of and did not take him seriously, and his inner anger became even more intense. He roared with murderous intent on his face, rumble. The explosion of light was dazzling, and the energy flow disrupted the entire sky. The ancestor of the Shui family had cold sweat on his forehead. It was still in the early stage of the tribulation realm. How could the gap between people be so big? With this move alone, it would be more disastrous if he tried to do it forcefully. What's more, if you stand still and get beaten, it will definitely evaporate on the spot. Relying on your high level of cultivation, you are arrogant, and you deserve to suffer at the hands of fellow Taoist Zhuyang, that the ancestor of the Shui family sneered, but for a second, his eyes were bigger than a bell, and he lost his voice. How is this possible? That I saw Yi Junlin still standing in the void with his arms folded, the smoke all over his body curling away, without any scars or injuries. Sorry, no blood loss at all. You're a weakling, but you want to kill me alone. Yi Junlin sneered. With the blessing of the immortal hegemon body technique and his superior cultivation, his physical defense is extremely terrifying. If it were an ordinary cultivator in the tribulation stage, he would be severely injured if he took this killing move. Zhou Yangshu was shocked and angry. The move just now had no water at all, and it was actually blocked by his opponent with his body. Suddenly, the assessment of Yi Junlin's strength rose to a new level. Yalin. Zhou Yangshu raised his hand, and a metal ring made of pure red gold appeared. Under the surging infusion of mana, it emitted such a bright light, like a brilliant big. This is a rare mysterious weapon. Although it is only the lowest grade of mysterious weapon, it is far better than the total of 100,000 ninth grade spiritual weapons. You know, once a spiritual weapon is promoted to a mysterious weapon, it is like the difference between a loach and a dragon. The two are not at the same level at all. This mysterious weapon that the sect has worked hard to create, even the monks in the later stages of the tribulation must deal with it with caution. I want to see if you are stronger or I am stronger. That the giant Yangshu immortal smiled ferociously and used all his strength to activate the radiant wheel. With a buzzing sound, the radiant wheel bloomed with immeasurable light, tearing through the void and slashing towards Yi Junlin. Hee hee. Yi Junlin sneered, secretly running the immortal hegemonic body technique. Boom. The momentum all over his body instantly towered like a mountain, and the white gang chi rose into the sky like a tsunami. Clang. 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 A harsh clang echoed. The sun will rotated rapidly, but Yi Junlin raised his arm to block it. Large groups of flowing fire fell, burning the earth for 3 days and 3 nights. The picture is truly spectacular and dazzling. Damn it, I don't believe you are so tough. Zhu Yang Shuxian roared angrily. Aha. The radiant will shot out a blazing light, its power instantly intensified significantly, containing indestructible power, and struck Yi Junlin's head hard. The scorching strong wind howled, and feeling the sharp tearing feeling, Yi Junlin's eyes narrowed slightly, and he felt a little more serious about it. He raised his hands and grasped the rapidly rotating obsidian like a pair of pincers, causing sparks to burst out. See this scene. The monks from various sects were dumbfounded. Is this horse still a human being? Dare to take the mysterious weapon with your bare hands. Could this guy be a transformed ancient beast? The ancestor of the Xue family murmured, breaking into a cold sweat. With such a terrifying defensive power, he would have been twisted into bloody foam by the sun. How is that possible? Zhu Yang Shuxian's expression changed drastically. You can't envy my hardness, Yi Junlin said a little proudly, having made a rough judgment about his current physical level. Boom. He gathered strength and punched out hard, knocking the radiant will straight out. The Yaoluan was forced to return to the hands of Zhu Yang Shuxian. At this time, Zhu Yang Shuxian's heart was filled with shock. This is a mysterious weapon second only to the immortal weapon. The power contained in it is extremely terrifying. It is a great killing weapon specially targeted at the monks in the tribulation realm. As a result, the opponent was able to resist with his flesh and blood. He has never seen such a hard person. Yi Junlin shook his head and sighed. Hey, for the sake of helping me break through, I will give you another chance to risk your life. Hear the words. Zhu Yang Shuxian only felt that he had been played, and he felt a sense of humiliation that his self-esteem had been trampled on. His body exuded a violent and terrifying evil spirit, and his eyes were bloodshot and red. Yi Junlin. I will fight you until death. Buzz buzz. Silvery white lines began to appear on the skin, and the silvery luster was extremely bright and dazzling. Zhu Yang Shuxian's whole body was filled with a sacred aura, and it seemed that he would turn white in a second. Oh. I know this move of yours, it's called the flying feather technique. Yi Junlin joked. Shut up. You are not allowed to insult my secret method of the Yuhua sect. Zhu Yang Shuxian shouted angrily with his eyes almost spitting fire. At this time, he had an inverted triangle pattern on his forehead, his eyes flashed with silver light, and his aura was much stronger than before. Kill. A sharp roar, the radiant will burst out with thousands of rays of light, spinning rapidly, splitting into upper shadows, covering Yi Junlin like a whirlpool. At this moment, Yi Junlin really felt the threat. He mobilized the surging magic power in his body, raised his hand to display the seal of the human king, and defeated a large number of Yaoluan phantoms. Then, he headed towards the Zhu Yang Shuxian to suppress it. Don't even think about it. Zhu Yang Shuxian roared hysterically and tried his best to resist the mark. Every pore on his body was emitting brilliant golden light. Boom. The seal of the human king was offset. 9 burning sky. Zhu Yangshu immortal was covered in blood, his expression was twisted like crazy, he was desperately mobilizing the feathering and ascension technique, his skin full of lines gradually cracked, but the power he got in exchange was unimaginable. Swish, round after round of golden balls stretched across the sky, as if 9 rounds of fire suddenly appeared in the sky, endless light spread all over the earth, the heat wave was overwhelming, and the scene was horrifying. Ah! Countless residents on the island were covered in smoke and wailed miserably. Zhu Yangshu immortal is going to fight for his life. Many guests' scalps were numb and they quickly used their magic weapons to resist the light. I admit that Guda is very strong, but if I use this move, how should you deal with it? Zhu Yang Xuxian said with a ferocious smile. Chapter 54, Top-Level Understanding. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This is his strongest stunt, and with the blessing of the sect's secret method, there are definitely few enemies in the tribulation realm. The 9-round golden sun was suspended in the sky, and the overwhelming feeling of oppression made Jing's heart tremble. Open your dog eyes and take a good look. Yi Junlin smiled half-heartedly, stretched his hands and slowly raised his head high. A large ball of 5-color light condensed instantly, and then expanded at an incredible speed. Boom. A vast and boundless 5-color divine sun rises from the sky, and the 5-color light shines for eternity, eternally. The great destruction technique of the 5 extremes of reincarnation. This. Zhu Yang Xuxian's face was shocked, but soon it was taken over by ferocity. His face was twisted and veins popped out, and the blood all over his body was burning. He roared, "Today, either you die or I live." As soon as he finished speaking, 9 rounds of golden light balls covering the sky were all crushed away. Are you worthy? Yi Junlin sneered and took out the 5-color light ball in his hand. The 5-color light ball carried a huge power, and the light was so bright that it began to collide with the 9 rounds of golden light balls. Boom. The 5-color divine light is like a vast sea, swallowing up the golden light balls one by one, and the boundless power spreads toward the giant Yang Xuxian. Seeing this scene, Zhu Yang Xuxian was stunned at first, then pulled his hair with both hands, and laughed crazily. Fake, it's all fake. Who would have thought that a newly promoted virtual immortal would be struck insane? Soon, in the eyes of countless horrified eyes, the figure of Zhu Yang Xuxian was swallowed up by the overwhelming 5-color divine light. After a while, the sky was cloudless and the sun was shining brightly, as if nothing had happened, just like the giant sun that had completely disappeared. Hey, it's not so dazzling after all. Yi Junlin took off his sunglasses and glanced meaningfully at the middle-aged figure. At this time, the ancestor of the Xue family was still immersed in shock, and suddenly noticed Yi Junlin's eyes. He was so frightened that his face turned pale as paper, and he shouted at the top of his voice, "Yi Xuxian has great magical powers. I admire you very much. Are you kidding me?" Even the powerful cultivator in the tribulation realm, Zhu Yang Xuxian, was easily destroyed by this guy in front of him. With his little strength, how many moves can he block? Don't give in now. Aha! Yi Junlin flashed next to the ancestor of the Xue family, raised his head and patted his shoulder, saying meaningfully, "Xiao Xue, do you have any objection to the matter of me accepting a disciple just now?" When the ancestor of the Xue family heard this, he didn't resist at all. Cold sweat broke out on his forehead, and he smiled bitterly. "Yi Xuxian, how dare you, little one? Just take him away." Hee hee. Yi Junlin exerted force on his palm, and half of the Xue family ancestor's shoulder cracked, and a huge pain suddenly hit him. "Aha, Yi Xuxian, spare your life, Yi Xuxian." The ancestor of the Xue family grimaced in pain, feeling extremely frightened inside. Having learned from the past, he didn't dare to resist at all, and just allowed this silver-haired young man to manipulate him as he pleased. "My apprentice Li Wujie was bullied like this by your Xue family. As a master, I should vent my anger for him. Do you think it is reasonable?" Yi Junlin said lightly. "It's reasonable, very reasonable. I just don't know how Yi Xuxian will do it." The ancestor of the Xue family said in a bitter tone, "No way, now he is just a ball of mud, just being pinched by the other party. I'll kiss you, kill the Xue family here." Yi Junlin narrowed his eyes slightly, his tone suddenly cold, and the murderous intention revealed made the surrounding temperature drop. What? The ancestor of the Xue family felt like he was struck by lightning. Is this request too much? Yi Junlin said lightly. The ancestor of the Xue family looked extremely ugly. This request was not excessive, it was simply worse than a beast. The Xue who live in the floating island group number at least tens of millions. Now let him, the ancestor, kill them all. Is it outrageous? Yi Shuxian, can you lower your request? Many Shui members are innocent. The ancestor of the Shui family was humbled and begged. Humph. What you lost was just your clan, but what my apprentice lost was your sister. You old guy, do you have any feelings? Yi Junlin said indignantly. You are right. The muscles on the Shui family ancestor's face twitched. Why did he feel that these words were strange? No matter how big the situation is, now that you have broken through the virtual immortal and lived for hundreds of thousands of years, is it not enough for you to remarry and have a new life? Yi Junlin continued to threaten. The ancestor of the Shui family looked sad. If he really did this, he would definitely be troubled by inner demons. Will he continue to practice well in the future? Please be kind to Yi Shuxian. I really can't do it, little Shui. The ancestor of the Shui family begged bitterly. Yi Junlin stared at him for a long time, and finally seemed to have made some kind of decision. He looked up to the sky and sighed, shaking his head. Well, who asked me to be reasonable? In this case, then you should get rid of the culprit. Hear the words. The ancestor of the Shui family was stunned, and then he was overjoyed and said gratefully, thank you Yi Shuxian. From slaughtering the entire Shui family to atonement by killing just one person, this is definitely the best thing. Then, the ancestor of the Shui family turned his head to look at the middle-aged man in the distance with cold eyes. Ancestor, you. The head of the Shui family looked pale and had an ominous premonition in his heart, because Yi Junlin had already soundproofed the conversation. Everyone outside could only see the surface. At this time, the ancestor of the Shui family decisively reached out and slapped the head of the Shui family into blood mist on the spot. Master, the Shui family members were horrified. Xuanhuan was stunned for a few seconds, and after reacting, he let out a heart-wrenching cry, Dad. He really didn't expect that his ancestor suddenly showed up and slapped his father to death on the spot. Why? Ancestor, why did you do this? Xuanhuan's eyes were red and he questioned. The Shui family ancestor ignored him and asked tentatively, Yi Shuxian, are you satisfied? Yi Junlin's face was dark, satisfied as. Are you a pig? I asked you to kill that idiot. Why did you kill his father? The Shui family ancestor looked innocent. You are talking about the culprit. I think it's the fault of the father. Isn't the responsibility on his father? Yi Junlin. Awesome, top understanding. Yi Junlin said unhappily, okay, let's make a pair, please kill him too. Yes. Xuanhuan, who was still in grief, suddenly felt a huge pressure coming from his body. His bones crackled, his internal organs were burning, his face turned liver-colored, his eyeballs almost popped out, and he looked at the person who came out in disbelief. Why? Ancestor, you. Xuanhuan's worldview was overturned. He never thought that one day he would die in the backer he was most proud of. Asshole, you almost let the whole family be buried with you. The tone of the Shui family ancestor was full of disgust, and his palm clenched suddenly, bang. Ah! Xuanhuan's whole body exploded directly, and a large group of bright red blood mist floated in the air. Countless people were stunned, thinking that the scene in front of them was very magical. Okay, the previous things are written off. Yi Junlin nodded. The Shui family ancestor said gratefully, thank you, Yi Shuxian. On behalf of the Shui family, I thank you for your kindness. At this time. Ha ha ha. Li Wujia's knot in his heart for these years was finally untied, and he laughed up to the sky with tears of joy. Sister, did you see it? This beast finally got his retribution. Swish, Yi Junlin flashed in front of the bloody figure and said seriously, Li Wujia, now that the great revenge has been avenged, are you willing to be my apprentice? Li Wujia was stunned, looking at the silver-haired young man. Tears kept falling on his face, perhaps because he was too excited. His voice was trembling. I, Li Wujia, am willing to become your disciple. From now on, my worthless life is yours. You can do whatever you want me to do, even if it means death, I will never frown. If you betray your master, let me, Li Wujia, die without a burial place. The voice contained infinite determination and the tone was extremely sonorous. Under the watchful eyes of the crowd, Li Wujie struggled to keep his kneeling posture, willingly knocked his head heavily on the ground, and shouted with all his strength, "Disciple Li Wujie, meet the master." "Yes." Yi Junlin smiled, "Ding, congratulations to the host for completing the task, and reward a Wuji boxing method, the fighting holy fist." The system prompt sounded in his mind. Chapter 55, Activate the Crazy Bloodline. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ding, the host's apprentice qualification has been detected, and the system provides an upgraded service package for free. Ding, the reward is Sword Technique, Chaos Sword Zhou. Ding, I'll reward you with a piece of Xuanhuan burning blood, which activates the latent crazy bloodline in the host disciple's body. Crazy Demon Bloodline, an extremely rare physique in all worlds. The owner can greatly improve the combat ability in a short period of time, but the spirit will fall into chaos, just like a crazy demon. If it is serious, he will even lose himself and continue to create kill until life comes to an end. Huh. I didn't expect that I would find a treasure. Yi Junlin was a little surprised. It seems that the reason why Li Wujie acted so arrogantly and without taboos was because he had the bloodline of a potentially crazy demon. If this kind of bloodline is activated, the strength can soar crazily in a short period of time, but the disadvantage is that it cannot be maintained for a long time, otherwise the spirit will be seriously affected, because it only knows how to destroy and create killing machines. Thoughts are turning. Yi Junlin stretched out his finger and gently said, "Li Wujie, my master will teach you the new sword technique." Hear this, Li Wujie's breath was stagnant. What he is practicing now is the junior-level swordsmanship, which originated from the swordsmanship inheritance left by a senior in the Mahayana realm. As for my new master, I am in the realm of transcending tribulation, so I don't know what level of swordsmanship he will teach me. In fact, Li Wujie was slightly worried, because in his eyes, Yi Junlin was not a sword cultivator, and he probably knew only a little about the art of swordsmanship. So, would there be a cognitive gap? After all, as the saying goes, it is called specialization in a profession. But the next second, Li Wujie realized that he was wrong. In the sea of consciousness, a golden scroll appeared, with a few big characters and arrogant and unruly, with the aura of cutting off all eternity. Li Wujie was shocked and thought silently in his heart, "Chaos Sword Zhou." That the scroll slowly opened, and countless pieces of information poured into his mind. All kinds of exquisite sword skills were transformed into human images and quickly demonstrated. Li Wujie was like a sponge, greedily absorbing the knowledge. In just a few seconds, Li Wujie was greatly shocked. Due to his excessive emotion, his face was so red that he was bleeding. He was breathing rapidly and said, "What kind of sword technique is this? It's so powerful." Li Wujie has been focusing on the way of swords all his life. After seeing the Chaos Sword Judgment, he was immediately immersed in it wholeheartedly. Before, he thought he was quite accomplished in the art of swordsmanship, but now he just thinks it is vulgar, childish and ridiculous. Disciple Li Wujie, thank you master for giving me the Dharma. Li Wujie had tears in his eyes and kowtowed again in excitement. For a swordsman like him, a good swordsmanship is more important than life. Ahem. Suddenly, Li Wujie coughed up dark red blood. His breath was extremely weak, as if he had thought of something, and his face showed bitterness. In the past, in order to fight for his life, he used secret techniques regardless of the consequences, which caused his body to be on the verge of collapse and his foundation to be seriously damaged. Even if he was lucky enough to survive later, his future cultivation path would definitely be hindered. Master, I'm afraid my disciple will live up to your expectations. Li Wujie sighed regretfully. Yi Junlin smiled and said, "If you say something stupid, take this medicine first, and you will have unexpected changes." As he spoke, he took out a box containing medicine and handed it over. Li Wujie took it carefully and opened it with great expectation, his eyes showing surprise. The shape of this medicine is horrible, black, and exudes a foul smell. It looks a bit like a piece of dog shit. If you get it from any auction house, will think you are causing trouble and be kicked out directly. Is this for me to eat? The corners of Li Wujie's mouth were twitching. If Yi Junlin hadn't given it to him personally, he would have felt like he was being teased. Yi Junlin was stunned on the spot. I didn't expect that the medicine the system gave me would look so bad and mixed with an unpleasant stench. Tongzi, you didn't lie to me, did you? Can this really help my apprentice activate the blood of the mad devil? Yi Junlin asked secretly. Ding, the host actually doubts the business level of this system. This system is really sad, woo-woo. In my mind, the system's soft and sweet Lolita sounded, along with the sound of crying after being bullied. It seems that after implanting the loli voice pack, even the speaking style has changed. Okay, I believe you. Yi Junlin said helplessly. Then, he looked at Li Wujie, who looked embarrassed, and said seriously, what do you mean? Do you not believe in being a master? Did you just take the oath? Hear the words. Li Wujie blamed himself in his heart. How could he question his master? As long as it's master's order, so what if it's really bullshit? Master. It's my fault. I'm going to take this piece of shit. No, it's medicine. Li Wujie endured the discomfort, put the medicine into his mouth and swallowed it. In an instant, the medicine suddenly broke out in his body, turning into scalding heat flowing through his limbs and bones. Master, I feel so uncomfortable. Suddenly, Li Wujie felt that his whole body was on fire, his skin was as hot as a red-hot iron, the scars all over his body were healing rapidly, his eyes gradually turned scarlet, his face was twisted and ferocious, his white teeth were drooling, like a ferocious beast that has lost its mind. Roar! A shocking roar came from the mouth, causing countless people to cover their ears and look in pain. What happened to Sword Demon Li Wujie? I felt a strange aura from him, and I suddenly felt very scared. Everyone, be careful, he is in a very bad condition. Everyone was shocked and their scalps were numb. At this time, Li Wujie's aura was extremely terrible. He pulled his hair with both hands, roared hysterically, his eyes were bloodshot, and he seemed to have lost his mind. Has the crazy bloodline been activated? Yi Junlin raised his eyebrows. Ding, yes, but the activator will fall into a short manic period unless a strong force forcibly suppresses him. The system explained. Die for me. Li Wujie's cultivation level rose steadily, breaking through from the early stage of the fusion realm to perfection, and he was only one step away from the Mahayana. At this time, his eyes burst into a terrifying bloodlight and roared, boom. He released a terrifying and surging aura all over his body, and waves of surging air raged everywhere. Many cultivators were shocked and retreated, with horror on their faces. Yi Shuxian, this is. The face of the Shui family ancestor changed. The other party is only in the early stage of the fusion realm, but he felt a sense of fear in his heart, as if the person in front of him was not a human, but a mad demon born for killing. What did that guy feed him? How could he suddenly become like this? Hong Qianye's face was full of disbelief. He had never seen such a bizarre state of amplification. Kill! A loud shout. Li Wujie's face was crazy, and he instinctively held a long sword and directly performed the basic sword technique of the Chaos Sword Zhou. Suddenly, the vast sword energy rushed straight into the sky, and the domineering sword momentum was unstoppable, with a posture of slashing and destroying the way. Yes, after activating the bloodline, it is like adding wings to a tiger. Yi Junlin said with satisfaction. Suddenly, a strong wind whistled in front of him, and Li Wujie's eyes were bloodshot, holding a long knife and slashing at his head fiercely. Window_tabula equals window_tabula .push, mode, thumbs, feed, 01, container, tabula, below, article, thumbnail, 300x250, placement, below article thumbnail, 300 by 250, target_type, mix. Chapter 56, Flattering the Horse on the Wrong Leg. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ding! A metallic tremor resounded through the sky, and the flat transparent ripples were boundless, and cracks appeared on various buildings. Li Wujie swung his long sword with all his strength, but was shaken away by Yi Junlin's finger. Roar! Li Wujie retreated several feet, roared, and then gathered enough sword power to attack again. Boom! A blazing white glowing hand fell from the void, and the palm prints were visible, filled with brilliant runes, just like suppressing Monkey King with 5 fingers, directly pressing down the crazy Li Wujie. The ground shook, and rolling sand and dust filled the air. Li Wujie roared hysterically, trying to break free from the hand, but his strength was not worth mentioning in front of Yi Junlin. How can a mere fusion realm be able to exert such strength, that there was a supreme elder of a famous sect at the scene, who was at the peak of the realm? When he saw Li Wujie using his skills, he was so scared that his forehead was sweating, his face was dry, and he felt powerless from the bottom of his heart. If that knife had been used by him, even if he used all his skills, it would have been difficult to avoid the fate of death. Li Wujie, your master orders you to wake up immediately. Yi Junlin's face was serious, and his voice contained magic power and was transmitted to the other party's ears. After hearing the master's voice, Li Wujie was stunned at first, and his expression began to change wildly. The strong murderous aura on his body gradually dissipated, and the redness in his eyes gradually faded, revealing a blank look. Master, what happened to me just now? Li Wujie was panicking. He vaguely remembered that he was swinging his knife at the silver-haired young man in front of him like a madman. At that moment, he seemed to have lost himself, and his mind was full of killing thoughts. Even if he was against the whole world, it didn't matter. Check yourself carefully to see if there is any difference from before. Yi Junlin said. Hearing this, Li Wujie hurriedly checked himself, and after a while, he said with surprise, my realm has broken through to the perfect fusion. That this is not over yet. All the hidden dangers and damaged foundations in his body before have been solved, and it has become more solid, which is like a new life. Li Wujie was very excited, knowing that this was all the hard work of the master. Disciple thanks master. Yi Junlin nodded and whispered, Li Wujie, you have the blood of madness. Once this blood is stimulated, it will bring unimaginable power, but it cannot be maintained for a long time. You must know how to control the degree. Li Wujie was shocked. Thinking of his mad state just now, his face suddenly showed a sense of realization. He immediately responded, yes, disciple will remember master's teachings. Seeing this scene, the monks on the scene were envious. They knew that the sword demon Li Wujie had obtained the good fortune of heaven, and this fortune was given by Yi Junlin. Congratulations to Yi Xuxian for accepting a good disciple. The ancestor of the Shui family was full of smiles and came over enthusiastically to get close to him. This happy boy, why don't you go in and have a drink? Seeing the ancestor of the Shui family's style, everyone looked strange. Who would have thought that this guy had just killed 2 of his own people? Yi Junlin glanced at him indifferently. Isn't this a distraction? After all, this banquet was held by your Shui family, and the main purpose is to celebrate your breakthrough. No problem, it's double happiness. The Shui family's ancestor was shameless, and looked at Li Wujie kindly, saying kindly, little friendly, what do you think? Li Wujie sneered a few times, too lazy to pay attention to this old dog. He felt disgusted with the Shui family from the bottom of his heart. After all, it was the other party who took action to stop him from killing Shui Tianyi. Okay, the matter has been handled, and there is no point in staying any longer. You Shui family can continue to celebrate, and remember to hold the funeral later. Let's go. Yi Junlin turned and left. Farewell Yi Xuxian. The guests around saw this and bowed respectfully. The Shui family ancestor smiled and said, Yi Xuxian, come often when you are free. The door of my Shui family is always open to you. Boom, after being summoned, Xuanhuan flew out from a certain abyss, carrying Yi Junlin and the others straight into the sky, and traveled through the sky. Seeing the group of people going away, the Shui family ancestor's smile gradually disappeared. Thinking of the turmoil he encountered today, he was so angry that his face turned blue, and his originally good mood was ruined. Master! Master! I finally found the young master's hand. Suddenly, an excited shout came from a distance. A guard held a broken arm in both hands, excitedly raised it above his head, and ran over excitedly. Others tried to hold back their laughter, and their faces turned red. Where is the master? The guard was stunned, feeling that the atmosphere was a little strange. Take this evil hand and throw it to the backyard to feed the dogs. The Shui family ancestor was furious and shouted. Yes. The guards were so scared that they trembled all over, not knowing why this man was so angry. Grandfather, then this banquet. An elder of the Shui family said tentatively. Disband immediately. Get out of here. The Shui family ancestor broke his defense and roared with emotions almost out of control. Goodbye. The guests on the scene felt numb and hurriedly fled away from the Shui family floating island. This grand and luxurious banquet ended in such a hurry, and the incident that happened this time will be spread by this group of cultivators, causing a sensation in many dojo in the eastern region. The sky is blue and the clouds are rolling, the huge kunpeng is flying in the void. Li Wujie stood on it and felt that everything was like a dream. Suddenly, his eyes stopped at the fiery red figure, and he saw that his facial features were exquisite, his eyebrows were picturesque, and he was not as beautiful as the mortals should have. His skin was white and delicate, and he was naturally beautiful. Just standing there is an aura that captivates all living beings. For a moment, Li Wujie secretly sighed, the red fairy is indeed as beautiful as the rumors. Nowadays, the outside world has the most discussion about Xiantian's sect. Besides Yi Junlin, it is his disciple Hong Qinya. Some people say that she has misogyny and doesn't look kindly on any stranger who approaches her. Some people say that she has extremely high vision and only unique men can conquer her. He hesitated for a long time. Li Wujie made up his mind and decided to go over and say hello. After all, they were from the same sect, and he would never see him again without looking up or looking down. Ahem. Li Wujie coughed a few times and walked over with a smile on his face. Senior sister Hong is not only outstanding in talent, she is also stunningly beautiful. In the future, please give me more guidance in terms of practice. Hong Qinya looked at him with sideways eyes. Hong Qinya was already in a bad mood when he saw Yi Junlin killing Immortal Yangshu. This meant that the gap between him and his opponent widened again. Now he has a new junior brother with a special physique, Hong Qinya. I feel an inexplicable sense of crisis in my heart. Snort. Hong Qinya snorted coldly, turned around and walked away, leaving Li Wujie standing in a mess in the wind. Li Wujie's mouth twitched. Although he was mentally prepared, he didn't expect this woman to be so cold. Is there something wrong with my words? Don't you like hearing compliments on your beauty? What a woman's heart, like a needle in the sea. Hello. New junior brotherly. At this time, a childish and cute voice sounded from below. Li Wujie lowered his head and saw that it was a creature with a rat head and a lolita body, saying hello to him in a friendly manner. I've met senior sister Bai. Li Wujie knew its identity and said with a respectful attitude. Bai Xiaoxi was very happy to be called senior sister. Her furry face showed a shy look, her hands were intertwined and she said awkwardly, "Oh, I'm not that outgoing like Shu Shu." Li Wujie said in a deep voice, "Senior sister Bai, the etiquette is still." "All right." Bai Xiaoxi nodded and said seriously, "Shu Shu is actually here to tell you that master's apprentice is actually a man. You have to ask him, senior brother Hong, otherwise he will be angry." What? Hearing this, Li Wujie felt as if he had been struck by thunder. The outside was scorched and the inside was tender. The expression on his face was full of shock, and his mouth was wide open. If Bai Xiaoxi hadn't said it personally, if it had been anyone else, he would have drawn his sword and angrily slashed away, thinking it was a naked slander. According to rumors, the famous red fairy is actually a man. Will this melon stay ripe? I see. No wonder he treats all the men who please him with cold eyes. He dares to be in love with men. Li Wujie scratched his head and said with a wry smile, "Then what I said just now, wasn't it just a slap on the horse's leg?" Window, _tabula equals window, _tabula, push, mode, thumbs, feed, 01, container, tabula, below, article, thumbnail, 300x250, placement, below article thumbnail, 300x250, target _type, mix. Chapter 57, Creatures from the Underworld. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After finding out the truth, Li Wujie had to accept the fact that Hong Qinya was a man. when he saw the direction he was heading, Li Wujie asked in confusion, "Sister Bai, isn't this the route to Huangzhou?" Bai Xiaoxi tilted her head, as if she was reorganizing her words, and began to say, "Master said that he wanted to travel around the world, and experience the vicissitudes of life." Li Wujie was stunned, and then sighed, "Master's realm is different, such a carefree and free mind, he is really a role model for the next generation." "Huh, yes, yes." Bai Xiaoxi scratched her head, a little embarrassed, because it just beautified Yi Junlin's original words, which were actually like this: "Mom, my mount is so cool, I must show off everywhere." "Ah Kuan, come on." When Kuanping was flying for several months, many monks in the East region who heard about the incident at the Shui family banquet were immediately shocked. Yi Junlin is not a venerable, but a virtual immortal. The Jiang venerable of Yuhua sect broke through the tribulation and went to find Yi Junlin, but was killed. He's fishing. Who dares to provoke him in the future? I've been in the cultivation world for many years, and I've never seen such an outrageous thing. I express my condolences to fellow Daoist Jiang. If you want to blame someone, blame Yi Junlin for being too shameless. He concealed his cultivation for 5 times. Damn, will this old man never stop? Can't you keep some sincerity between you and him? Tea houses and pubs are all talking about it. Many cultivators even think that Yi Junlin is an old monster who has lived for a long time and is here to play in the world. As for his current exposure of the tribulation cultivation, I have begun to speculate boldly, is it also on the surface? In short, you can't look at it with ordinary eyes. Cangzhou, rich in spiritual energy and rich in resources. Zhou dynasty, Panchir city is facing an unprecedented crisis at this moment. The drums of war were beating, and the shouts of killing shook the earth. Hundreds of thousands of soldiers wearing metal armor, riding on tiger-like and leopard-like beasts, raised their swords and charged like a meteor shower. In an instant, the killing momentum swept away. This is not an ordinary mortal army, but the tiger and leopard cavalry of the Zhou dynasty that shocked the world. Every soldier in it has the cultivation of the Golden Core realm, and is the elite among the elite. Swish swish swish. They rode on tigers and leopards as fast as lightning, communicating with each other when they set up the battle formation, and slashing out terrifying sword beams with a superimposed amplification effect. Such well-trained 100,000 tiger and leopard cavalry, even Yuanian cultivators would retreat when they saw them, for fear of being trapped and never getting out. At this time, the ones fighting against them were not armies from other dynasties, but a group of eerie, weird, and ugly creatures. This is the ghost tribe. Kill. Kill all of them. A group of ugly ghost creatures with different skin colors rushed towards the tiger and leopard cavalry. A fierce battle began. It didn't take long for more than half of the 100,000 tiger and leopard cavalry to be killed. Looking at the ghost creatures, even if they were seriously injured, they would recover slowly with the help of the black smoke from the rear. This battle was a river of blood and corpses were everywhere. Defend the rock city to the death. A wounded soldier chopped at the ghost creatures with a long knife and roared. Kill. The colleagues had red eyes and rushed to fight without fear of life and death. The only thought in their minds was to protect the city behind them. Panchir city was filled with panic, women were sobbing while holding their children, and young men were full of grief and indignation. Kuanping happened to pass by here at a height of 10,000 meters. Master, there are ghosts attacking the city. Li Wujie came over and reported. Eat you. A powerful shout. Yi Junlin reached out and picked up his own artillery chess piece, and dropped it directly on the enemy's general chess piece. Hong Qianye, who was sitting opposite, twitched wildly at the corner of his mouth. He had never seen such a shameless person in his life. Whose artillery chess piece could forcibly cross the entire boundary river, ignore the various chess pieces in front of it, and directly knock down the general chess piece in the first step. During this period, in addition to practicing, Hong Qianye had to take time to serve Yi Junlin and cooperate with him in various ways of playing. For example, when playing chess this time, he thought he could abuse it to his heart's content with his skillful chess skills, but this guy ignored the rules 5 times and directly ate his handsome chess piece. Such a dog. What the hell is this? I'm still playing. Hong, you are too bad. I can't even use my strength, and you have already lost the whole game. Yi Junlin threw away the chess piece, crossed his arms and sighed. Hong Qianye resisted the urge to scold, and smiled. Master, the artillery vehicle needs to be set up, and the displacement distance is limited. This year-old kid knows the truth. Yi Junlin stared, and said righteously, Master, this is a mortar. Is it not okay? Go to your mother's mortar. Wait, what is a mortar? Hong Qianye was so angry that she almost fainted. She felt that this was another new word made up by the other party just to cheat and win. It seems that you are very dissatisfied. Are you questioning your chess skills? Yi Junlin raised his eyebrows, with a warning tone. Disciple dare not. Hong Qianye was frightened and lowered his head quickly, although he had broken through the 5th level during this period and felt that there was no enemy within the 5th level, he knew that he was still too weak in front of this. Xiaoxi, what do you think of your chess skills? Yi Junlin turned his head and asked the cute rat face behind him, by she was rubbing Yi Junlin's shoulder seriously. After seeing this, he nodded without thinking. Shu thinks that master is the most powerful. Hong Qianye saw this and cursed in her heart, this damn rat is really good at flattering. Hey, I still know how good I am. Yi Junlin looked pleased, then looked at the unshaven middle-aged man. Li, what did you just say? Looking at the two masters and apprentices, Li Wujie resisted the urge to laugh. During this period of time, he had experienced that his master was not as rigid and majestic as an old monster as rumored by the outside world. Instead, he had a rather strange style and unusual thoughts. I pity Brother Hong and become the biggest victim. My disciple said yes. A group of ghosts were found not far away attacking the city. The situation is very dangerous. Ghost Clan. Yi Junlin searched his brain memory and suddenly found relevant information. The Ghost Tribe is one of the dark race tribes. They come from the ancient forbidden land called Abyss in the east, which is the home base of many dark races. According to rumors, in ancient times, the abyssal creatures tried to invade the outside world. At that time, the monks of the tribe united and fought a large-scale battle with them. Later, the abyssal creatures were defeated and retreated. From then on, they lived in peace and harmony. Unexpectedly, there are ghost troops attacking the city of the tribe. Does this mean that the deadlock that has been maintained for thousands of years has been broken? In that case, let's go take a look. Yi Junlin ordered. Kun, go over and help. Kunpeng made a cry like a whale, flapped its wings happily and rushed over. Smoke filled the air below, shouts of killing resounded from all directions, and the battlefield was devastated. Jie, don't do fearless resistance. Taking this city is just the beginning. Other fortresses will be attacked by the Ghost Tribe, and the entire dynasty will soon be destroyed. The leading ghost general looked fierce and sneered. It rides a white bone horse with burning green flames, and holds an ancient spear with talismans intertwined. It has extraordinary momentum and a sense of oppression. Stay there, you can't even think of succeeding. The middle-aged commander roared, riding the strange beast and slashing it away with his sword. With his nascent soul cultivation level, coupled with the increase brought by the battle formation, his strength is extremely powerful, which can be said to be the genius level of the sect. Dang. The sound of metal clashing was extremely dense, and turbulent air waves spread out. The ghost general holds a spear, and the middle-aged commander fights back and forth, but as the black mist absorbs, his condition is getting better and better. As for the tiger and leopard cavalry, due to the continuous reduction of the number of members and the shrinking of the battle array blessings, the middle-aged commander is gradually at a disadvantage. Qi. The ghost general holds a long spear, dragging the dark evil energy, and charges up to shatter the void and go straight to the middle-aged commander's chest. No. The middle-aged commander quickly resisted with his sword, but the impact was too strong, causing him to fly backwards from his mount and vomit blood. Commander Wang. The rest of the gang, with eyes split open, rushed up to protect Wang Defa, but were blocked by the ghost creatures with ferocious smiles on their faces. Wang Defa held the black gold sword and stood up from the ground with difficulty. He watched the terrifying figure riding the white bone horse getting closer and closer. When he heard the roars in his ears, he felt very weak in his heart. If this continues, not only will all the brothers die, but Rock City will also fall, and as the Ghost General said, this level is just the beginning, so the Zhou dynasty will definitely be in trouble this time. You despicable, kneel down in front of me, General. The Ghost General said arrogantly. Wang Defa's eyes were straight and he yelled angrily, the Emperor of Zhou has appointed the commander of the Tiger and Leopard Cavalry, and it means that he has the face of Zhou. How can I kneel down for a beast like you? If you want to kill or behead me, just let the horse come over. Very good, I will do as you wish, General. The Ghost General smiled angrily and pierced the sky with his spear. His momentum was extremely strong and he wanted to nail Wang Defa directly to the city wall. Sudden, a huge rumbling sound sounded in the sky, a terrifying king's pressure swept across the entire battlefield instantly, and all the soldiers and ghosts who were still fighting were as if they were clay statues, daring not to move, looking deep into the sky. The huge figure piercing through the clouds showed deep horror in his eyes. Then, what is that? The Ghost General said. At this moment, an unimaginable attraction burst out from Xuanhuan's mouth. The ghost creatures present looked horrified, and found that they could not control themselves at all, and flew towards the abyss-like giant. No. The Ghost General wanted to escape, but was also sucked in. Frightened voices sounded one after another. It didn't take long for Xuanhuan to eat all the food. He swayed playfully and then let out an earth-shattering burp. The defenders of Panchur City were stunned and almost suspected that they were hallucinating. Is this a divine beast descended from the sky to protect Zhou? Wang Defa murmured, forgetting the pain in his body. Chapter 58. Something strange is going on. You are listening at novelfull.audio. With a rumble, Xuanhuan came riding the mighty air current. The defenders put down their weapons and knelt down to worship. Thank you to the mythical beast for protecting the people of Zhou dynasty, that the shouts were like an overwhelming wave. Now that the ghost clan is attacking, it happens to appear at this time. Is this an auspicious beast around us? Just as Wang Defa was guessing about Xuanhuan's origin, a clear voice came from Xuanhuan. Come up here and tell me what's going on. In an instant, the boiling cheers fell into silence. The defenders looked at each other with astonishment in their eyes. It turns out that this mythical beast has an owner. Wang Defa was startled, and suddenly realized that this human race happened to be passing by, so he took action to help them. Suddenly, Wang Defa suppressed his excitement and rushed towards Xuanhuan with his sword. Aha! Wang Defa landed on the broad back and saw a magnificent palace and a figure that he did not dare to neglect, lowered his head and held his hands in hand, and said in a respectful tone, Wang Defa, commander of the Tiger and Leopard Cavalry has met all of you seniors. Answer me, which dynasty does this belong to, and why does this ghost army want to attack you? Junlin sat lazily on the recliner, took the milk tea from Bai Zai, and drank it with a straw in his mouth. Wang Defa's eyes widened. He knew that the person sitting there had the highest position among the people. This aura, this demeanor, he's at the level of a real guy. Reporting back to my predecessors, in this territory of the Zhou dynasty, I don't know why they want to attack Zhou dynasty. However, according to the dead ghost generals, in a while, Zhou dynasty will be fully attacked by the ghost clan. When the time comes, there will definitely be a fierce battle. Hear the words. Junlin frowned. Abyss creatures attack the human kingdom with such great fanfare. Are they not afraid of triggering another crusade from human monks? After all, even the ghost clan Minjuan's clan did this blatantly. Maybe the other dark races also have this intention. Li Wujia pondered. The ghost tribe likes a dark and humid environment. What are the benefits of capturing Jinzhou? Hong Qianye said calmly. Why are you thinking so much? If they want to come, just destroy them directly. Hearing this, Wang Defa felt happy in his heart. He looked at the figure in red who was as beautiful as a fairy, raised his hands and tentatively said, This fairy, do you want to help me get through this difficult time? I'm here first. On behalf of Zhou, thank you for your kindness. Haha. Hong Qianye sneered, looking away directly, as if it had nothing to do with it. Wang Defa looked embarrassed, but after thinking about it carefully, he felt it was understandable. After all, it was a chance meeting, so why should others wade into this muddy water? Junlin rubbed his chin, vaguely feeling that there was a mystery behind this, when a familiar system prompt sounded in his mind. Ding, congratulations to the host for triggering the mission and defeating the ghost army that invaded the Zhou dynasty. You will get good rewards after completing it. Okay, in that case, let's use this place as our base for the time being and see if we can get any clues from the ghosts. Junlin made up his mind, cleared his throat, straightened his waist, and said in a deep voice. The alien race is causing trouble and killing innocent people indiscriminately. As a human race, I can't ignore death. If you tell me, I will take action. Wang Defa felt that there was no hope at first, but the words of the other party made his eyes light up. He half knelt down excitedly, cupped his fists and said, Senior, I will always remember your kindness. He felt that this would be a turn of events. Even this supreme beast was used as a mount. How strong must the owner of this beast be? With this person making a promise, everyone in the world will be safe. Li Wujia admired him and said, Master is wise, that he actually wanted to stay and help Zhou, just because he was a monk who grew up in the eastern region and was very resistant to the invasion of abyssal creatures. Hong Qinya curled her lips and said secretly, You are really nosy. By the way, what do you call me, Senior? Where do you come from? Wang Defa asked cautiously. Xian Tianzong, Yi Junlin. Yi Junlin took a sip of milk tea. Boom. Wang Defa felt as if he had been struck by lightning, his head buzzing, combining the rumors he had heard before and the image characteristics of the other party. He now realized that the person in front of him was the white-haired murderer who was in the limelight recently and was famous far and wide. The ruthless man who repeatedly stepped on and rubbed the face of the #1 immortal sect in the eastern region. Yi, Venerable Yi, I really admire you. Wang Defa said with cold sweat on his forehead and a smile on his face, trembling with fear, dressed in a solemn black robe embroidered with gold, coupled with eye-catching silver-white hair. No wonder he always feels that this combination is inexplicably familiar. Only Wang Defa took the lead and imagined Yi Junlin, who was feared by everyone in the rumors, as an old monster with gray hair. I never expected that she actually looked so young. Your Majesty. Yi Junlin looked a little strange. It seems that the news was delayed and he didn't know what happened at the banquet, but it doesn't matter, it's just a title. Let's go, take me to see your holy lord. Rumble, Xuanhuan passed by Panchir city, and the old people below knelt down to thank the mythical beast for its protection. Wang Defa was in a very excited mood, holding a flag with the word Zhou in his hand, standing at the front and responsible for clearing the way. When the crisis in Panchir city was resolved, cities and various cities were attacked by the ghost army one after another, and the flames of war burned out at an incredible speed, 1,000 miles away from the capital. There are 600,000 most elite Zhou troops stationed there. The front is densely packed with bronze giant elephants, on which sit soldiers emitting silver light, holding long spears with metallic luster. The warships cover the sky and the sun, and there is a strong sense of oppression. Countless archers draw their bows and pull the strings, and the arrows have a storm-like energy. With this kind of lineup, even the gods will die, and the fusion realm will have to think twice. At this time, this Zhou army is ready to resist the upcoming ghost army. In the military tent, looking at the red dots marked on the map, several Zhou generals in armor were discussing the war. Just now, several ghost tribe armies broke through our defense line and are following the nearest road, intending to take our Zhou capital directly. It can be seen that they want to fight quickly. According to the war reports from all over the country, there are currently several ghost generals suspected to be in the fusion realm, and it is not ruled out that there are ghost generals in the writing realm. That when they said this, their expressions were full of solemnity. At this time, a general hesitated for a while and said, this time the ghost tribe suddenly started fighting and insisted on occupying our Zhou palace. Could it be that there is some treasure in our Zhou that attracts them to covet? As soon as these words came out, the faces of several other colleagues changed slightly, quietly looking at the mighty man next to him wearing golden armor and a red cape. This is the crown prince established by Zhou dynasty, and also the heir of Emperor Zhou. The crown prince pondered and said, Your Highness knows what you mean, but unfortunately, I, the crown prince, don't know either. Your Highness, I was just abrupt. The general who spoke was embarrassed and admitted his mistake with a fist. The crown prince waved his hand and said in a deep voice, "It doesn't matter. This time the ghost tribe is invading, and what we have to do is to resist as much as possible. If we can't stop it, then we will protect more people and evacuate the country. As long as people are still there, there is hope. The crown prince is so concerned about the people, it is really a blessing for our Zhou dynasty." The generals sighed, "Alas, this is only the worst plan. I hope that other forces in Sangzhou can lend a hand to help me resist the ghost tribe because we are all human beings." Just then, there was a sudden noise outside the military tent. Window, _Tabula equals window, _Tabula, push, mode, thumbs, feed, 01, container, Tabula, below, article, thumbnail, 300x250, placement, below article thumbnail, 300 by 250, target _type, mix. Chapter 59, My Apprentice is Killing People. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Strange, could it be that the ghost tribe came over? A general looked surprised. The words just fell. A deputy general rushed into the military tent and shouted, "Report to the prince, there is a new situation outside. Go and take a look." Could it be that the ghost tribe is playing some trick? The prince's heart sank slightly, and he led several generals out of the military tent. When they saw a huge strange creature on the horizon, swooping down on the majestic air current, their expressions changed drastically in an instant, and they couldn't believe it. What kind of strange beast is this? A general's scalp was numb and he asked anxiously, "Why does this kind of thing appear in our great Zhou dynasty? Quickly order all the soldiers to prepare for war and stop it." "What's wrong?" "This is the mythical beast Xuanhuan." The prince scolded sharply, looking at the behemoth with awe, but what shocked him the most was seeing Wang Defa's figure. "Someone is holding high the banner of my great Zhou dynasty." "Huh! I recognize him, that's Commander Wang of the Tiger and Leopard Cavalry." A general almost thought he was mistaken, but after double-checking, he exclaimed, "What?" Everyone was dumbfounded. Wang Defa held up a flag high in his hand, and the flag fluttered in the wind. It was said that he stole the show, and he felt very happy in his heart. When Xuanhuan came to the military tent, Wang Defa immediately flew to the ground, knelt on one knee, and said respectfully, "Commander of the Tiger and Leopard Cavalry, I have seen the prince's palace." The prince quickly asked, "Commander Wang, what is going on? Does this divine beast have something to do with me, the great Zhou dynasty?" Wang Defa said in a deep voice, "Prince Palace, this mythical beast has an owner, and that person has promised to help me, Zhou." Hiss. Everyone gasped, using Xuanhuan as a mount, who in the entire eastern region is so awesome. The prince was also shocked by this, but what made him feel the biggest emotional wave was the information revealed in the second half of the sentence. "Commander Wang, are you serious about this? Is that senior really willing to help me, Zhou, tide over the difficulties?" "Absolutely true." The prince was very happy to have such a powerful help, and suddenly felt that there was hope for Zhou. "What do you call this senior? After what happened, Zhou, will definitely repay him." Reporting to the prince's palace, the senior is called Junlin. Hear the words, the prince was stunned at first, his heart skipped a beat, and he tentatively said, Junlin? Is it the white-haired murderer of the Xiantian sect? Wang Defa was frightened and hurriedly lowered his voice and said, "Prince, please be careful, Lord Yi is actually a very easygoing person, he is not as cruel as the rumors." Everyone swallowed water. The word easygoing seems to be related to him, right? Because of him, the Yuhua sect lost an army of tens of thousands of monks, including 18 core elders of the Mahayana realm. These are all real. The prince adjusted his breathing, took a few steps forward, and said respectfully, "Prince Zhou, I have met Master Yi." He didn't dare to be negligent in the slightest. If someone was happy, he would probably raise the capital to the ground. I am afraid that the 600,000 troops in my hand are not even qualified to warm up others. Rumble. Suddenly, on the distant horizon, the overwhelming black fog spread like a wave. 800,000 sinister creatures rushed out, wearing mottled armor and holding various weapons. Their ugly faces were full of ferocity, and their eyes burst out with bloodthirsty red light. Jie jie jie, you humans, if you know what you are doing, surrender obediently and become sacrifices to my ghost clan. A series of joking and ferocious laughter echoed in the sky. The prince's face was sullen, and he was about to say something when he saw a slightly cheerful voice coming from Xuanhuan. Damn. You two, go and deal with them all. Yes, master, Dadaha. Immediately afterwards, Hong Qianye and Li Wujie rushed away respectively, turning into rainbow lights to face the mighty ghost army. Behind the ghost clan, 10 ghost commanders exuding a terrifying aura were hiding in the black mist, observing secretly, and communicating with each other. Laughing, conquering this human country called the Zhou actually requires us to use so much energy. Everyone, please don't be careless. It is said that this kind of dynasty is the same as the sect, and usually has the blessing of national luck. The Ghost King is also cautious and wants to test the bottom line of Emperor Zhou. No matter what, between 800,000 and 600,000, the advantage is mine. The most important thing is that this time the Mingyuan clan is born together. Our ghost clan must seize the opportunity. This is a major event related to the rise and fall of the entire clan. Yes, this world will fall sooner or later anyway. When the people in charge of the eastern region change, we will also have a certain say because of our meritorious service. That at the same time, Hong Qianye and Li Wujie fell in the distance from the ghost army, watching the mighty ghost creatures surging towards them. Senior brother Hong, junior brother, my sword skills are poor, so I will show my shame first. Li Wujie looked forward, the corners of his mouth raised crazily. The murderous intention in his heart had been suppressed for a long time. He firmly grasped the handle of the knife with his right hand, and suddenly pulled out the long black knife. Aha! At this moment, Li Wujie's aura suddenly changed, from a wild and unrestrained swordsman to a demon who seemed to be killing everyone. Cut! Cold voices echoed in all directions. Whoops! The jet-black sword light swept away, transforming into an abyss giant and swallowing a large number of ghost creatures. All. The screams were heartbreaking. Many ghost creatures were scared out of their wits. Which strong human being was responsible for this? Just one sword, 100,000 enemies were killed. Li Wujie exhaled heavily, recalling the moves just now. He always felt that it was still a little bit perfect. Boom. At this time, a terrifying momentum like a volcanic eruption came from beside him. The temperature around him suddenly rose wildly, making people dry and thirsty. Hong Qianye mobilized the surging power in his body. His black hair was flying in disorder, and his aura was very powerful. He pinched his fingers with one hand and pointed at a distance. Whoosh! The red gold flames covered the sky and even the void formed waves. Ah! Where the red gold flames covered the sky, there were waves of shrill wails, and countless ghost creatures were burned to ashes. Okay, stop it. In addition, dozens of ghost generals in the fusion realm were shocked, releasing boiling ghost energy all over their bodies, and joined forces to use their strength to resist, trying to save the situation, but their struggles were doomed to be useless. Soon, one by one, they were entangled in flames and died on the spot. The 700,000 ghost army, 400,000 were gone in a blink of an eye. It was so terrifying. Li Wujie sighed. Senior brother Hong has such a strong method. I admire you. Hee hee. Hong Qianye's mouth corners were slightly raised, and he felt a little complacent in his heart. Even if that shameless guy took in a freak, I, Hong Qianye, am still the strongest senior brother. Let's fight quickly and make a quick decision. Don't let people laugh at me. Hong Qianye said lightly. Swish. In a second, he was surrounded by raging flames, and he swept away with terrifying power. The road was full of scorched earth, and the scene was very shocking. Li Wujie nodded and said seriously, Brother Hong is right, I can't embarrass master. That he held a long knife, flew up and performed knife skills, and fell into the ghost army and killed them indiscriminately. In the attack of these two people, the ghost army suffered heavy casualties soon, and the number decreased at an unimaginable speed. At this rate, they will soon be wiped out. Seeing such a brutal scene, all the soldiers of the Zhou were frightened and their hands and feet were cold. Good, so strong. Several generals swallowed water in their throats, and sweat beads appeared on their foreheads. The prince's hair was numb and his facial muscles were twitching. He was ashamed to be the apprentice of the white-haired killer god, and he really inherited his style. I thought it would be a fierce battle, but I didn't expect it to be so clean and neat. Damn it! Who are these two humans? In the black fog at the rear, 10 ghost generals were shocked and angry. Everything that happened in front of them made them anxious. It seems that they are the strong men worshipped by the great Zhou dynasty. We must kill them. No matter who it is, they can't stop the plan of our ghost clan. Go! At this time, Hong Qianya flashed in the air and raised his hand to kill thousands of ghost creatures. Suddenly he noticed something, looked at the source, and sneered, the interesting thing is coming. Boom, accompanied by a huge rumble, 10 mighty figures emitting majestic ghost energy flew towards the sky, covered with ancient armor painted with runes, holding various swords, sticks, halberds and other weapons. What a strong aura, this is a ghost general in the Mahayana realm, that the prince and others exclaimed. The weakest ones are all in the Mahayana stage, and the strongest are at the peak of the Mahayana. You two humans, go to hell. A blue-haired ghost commander in the Mahayana period took the lead, holding a pitch-black halberd and stabbing fiercely. Just in time for me to practice. Li Wujie was excited, just wanting to test his own limit, and eagerly used his sword skills to chop, schwa. The blade shattered the void, with the momentum of cutting through the heavens, puff. The blue-haired ghost commander couldn't believe it, watching the halberd in his hand break, with a tearing pain in his chest, and then green blood spurted out. Its heart was full of fear. When did the human race's fusion realm cultivators become so strong? This kind of battle across the realm has not been seen in the entire nether abyss for thousands of years. Well, didn't die with one sword. Then I'll give it another sword. Li Wujie felt that his face was saved, and he swung the long sword with all his strength and chopped it again, schwa. A destructive blade flashed by, boom, the green-haired ghost commander didn't even have time to scream before being annihilated by the terrifying blade. How could it be possible? The 9 ghost commanders were struck by lightning. The prince and the others were dumbfounded and murmured, are all the disciples of Master Yi so fierce? Chapter 60, Emperor Zhou. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It's fucking fun. Li Wujie laughed, holding his spear and continuing to chop at other ghost generals. Kill this guy. The purple-haired ghost general in the lead shouted angrily, holding a trident and stabbing fiercely with a gloomy wind. The other ghost generals performed their killing moves one after another, and the terrifying murderous aura surged out, covering the sky and the sun, with terrifying power. Boom. After being hit by 9 energies full of evil aura, Li Wujie's face changed, and he realized that he was still too reluctant. Why not try to activate the crazy bloodline? Li Wujie thought, clenching his teeth, and his eyes gradually turned red. Swish. At this time, scorching heat filled all directions, and countless green flames containing sacred aura emerged. Green jade glazed fire. Hong Qianya swung his sleeves violently, and countless green flames swept away, forcibly interrupting the attacks of the ghost generals. 6 middle-stage Mahayana ghost generals screamed in pain. Their bodies were quickly burned by green flames, and they were annihilated in the air in a short while. Human woman, I want you to pay with your life. The purple-haired ghost general was furious, holding the trident high above his head, releasing a vast energy wave. The violent murderous aura on the trident rushed straight into the sky, and the entire sky was dim, as if a terrible natural disaster was about to come. As a peak Mahayana, if the purple-haired ghost general launched an offensive, almost no one in the entire Great Zhou could resist him. Li Wujie's forehead was covered with cold sweat, and he quickly retreated far away, looking at the purple-haired ghost general with pity in his eyes. It's too late to be afraid now. You and this stinky woman must die. Seeing this, the other 2 late Mahayana ghost generals showed cruel smiles on their faces, and they felt that they were about to turn the tables. Hiss. Hearing this, Li Wujie gasped and retreated a few hundred meters again. As expected, an unimaginable terrifying momentum broke out, which was frightening. Hong Chenya's hair was flying wildly, his face was cold as frost, and his eyes were murderous. The cold and ruthless voice was full of murderous intent, echoing in the vast world. You die for me. When he raised his hand, endless black fire emerged from the void, with the power of swallowing everything, sweeping towards the boiling ghost figures. No. The two late Mahayana ghost generals, their eyes almost overflowing with fear, were devoured by the strange black fire. What is this? The purple-haired ghost general was horrified, and in a hurry, he held the trident and pierced through. Chilla, the trident released countless dark purple lightning, each of which contained extremely strong destructive power. A terrible phenomenon occurred, countless dark purple lightning bombarded the black flames, but was swallowed up completely. This is impossible. The purple-haired ghost general was so scared that his soul was gone. After seeing this scene, he lost all his fighting spirit and turned around to flee the scene, but unfortunately, it was too late. The black flame fell on it, and the purple-haired ghost general felt that his flesh and blood, including his soul, were being absorbed crazily, which was an indescribable pain. Ah! The screams were heartbreaking. In just a few seconds, the purple-haired ghost general disappeared completely. As for the remaining ghost creatures, they were also devoured by the black fire. On the battlefield, which was devastated, only the whistling sound of the cold wind could be heard. The soldiers of the great Zhou dynasty looked at it in disbelief, and they were deeply afraid of the arrogant red-clothed figure. Red Fairy is really a heavenly figure. The prince stammered for a while, and then uttered this sentence with difficulty. Why do I feel that this is a female devil? A general whispered, and was frightened by his colleagues and poked with his elbow, signaling to shut up quickly. At this time, Hong Chenya's expression gradually eased, and he sneered, an ant who doesn't know whether to live or die. Hong Chenya turned his head and glanced at Li Wujie, who was hiding far away. He didn't say anything and set off to report back. Li Wujie sighed. After the rage, senior brother Hong is invincible in the same realm. He is worthy of being the first disciple accepted by master. After a second, Li Wujie thought of something, and his right hand tightly grasped the handle. The corners of his mouth rose wildly, and his eyes flashed with excitement. Hee, this is good. If we spar, I can chop him madly. Hong Chenya seemed to have sensed something, and his back felt cold. He turned his head suddenly and found that Li Wujie had followed silently. He turned his head suspiciously and whispered to himself, is it just an illusion of mine, that when the two of them landed on Kunpan, he bowed his head and said, Master, according to your instructions, everything is solved. Result, there was no response from the front. Li Wujie said nervously, oh no, is Master dissatisfied? What is this guy doing again? Hong Chenya raised his head tentatively, and his nose was almost crooked with anger. On the recliner in front of him, a handsome young man was lying on his back without any image, with a sky-blue eye mask on his eyes and drooling at the corners of his mouth. Falling into a deep sleep, he looked unshakable, completely out of tune with the outside world. Master, wake up quickly, Bai Xiaoxi whispered in his ear. Yi Junlin woke up slowly and took off his eye mask. Has it been solved? Yes, the enemy has been completely annihilated by us. Hong Chenya gritted his teeth and resisted the urge to rush up and beat him up. Yi Junlin stretched his waist, came between the two of them, stretched out his hand and patted their shoulders, praising them like a leader. Well done, keep up the good work. Then, he straightened his back and walked away with his hands behind his back. Thank you for the compliment, Master. Li Wujie was very excited. Hong Chenya curled his lips and secretly complained, it was agreed that you would take action, but you still have to order us to do the work. In the end, the prince and his men were nervous. At this time, they saw a young man in a black robe walking with his hands behind his back. He had long silver-white hair draped over his shoulders, and each strand of hair was crystal clear. His face was handsome and his whole body exuded a temperament like a banished immortal. Greetings to Venerable Yi. The prince was shocked and bowed quickly. Everyone bowed and said in unison, greetings to Venerable Yi. Now that the crisis is over, you de Zhou should treat me well. Yi Junlin smiled. The prince said respectfully, Venerable Yi, you are our most distinguished guest, de Zhou will definitely treat you warmly. Yi Junlin nodded. He came here on purpose just to experience the local fireworks atmosphere. The group flew to the prosperous capital, and the news about the destruction of the ghost army had been sent back to the city in advance. The people in the capital cheered and were beaming with joy. "Look, that's Venerable Yi. It is said that he was the one who destroyed the ghost army." A tea house owner exclaimed. "Venerable Yi, please accept my worship." Many people rushed over and worshipped excitedly. Countless praises followed one after another, all about Yi Junlin. In short, they praised him to the sky. Yi Junlin sighed, "Hey, this is obviously my apprentice's contribution, how can you say it's my contribution?" Ahem. The prince looked embarrassed. He had almost finished walking down the street, and you just brought it up. Hearing this, Li Wujie said without hesitation, "As disciples, our contribution is the contribution of our master." Hong Qinya showed contempt, "This man is really spineless." "Xiaohong, what do you think?" Yi Junlin asked seriously. Hong Qinya immediately said solemnly, "I think what junior brother Li said is absolutely right. You are a teachable child, and your master has not loved you in vain." Yi Junlin said with relief. Inside the palace, the whole court was looking forward to it. "Welcome to Master Yi." But when they saw the silver-haired young man accompanying the prince, they immediately understood his identity and immediately bowed their hands in admiration. "This is a ruthless man who destroyed the army of millions of Yuaman monks. Looking at the whole country, there is no rival except Emperor Zhou," the prince said in a deep voice. "Venerable Yi, father will welcome you inside." "Oh," Yi Junlin raised his eyebrows. "This old guy is quite impressive. He is waiting for him to come inside." At this time, a mellow voice came with apology. "Venerable Yi, please forgive me for not being able to welcome you from afar. It is really inconvenient for me." Yi Junlin walked into the hall and was stunned. In front of him, there was a middle-aged man wearing a dragon robe and a crown on his head. He sat on the dragon chair with a majestic face. He exuded a circle of blazing white halo all over his body. There was some kind of invisible power shrouding him. It seemed that he was recuperating from his injuries, or adapting to the state. "This is the contemporary Emperor Zhou of the Great Zhou. Window_tabula equals window_tabula_tabula.push, mode, thumbs, feed, 01, container, tabula, below, article, thumbnail, 300x250, placement, below article thumbnail, 300 by 250, target_type, mix.